Good evening everyone. Today I'm going to be doing a little bit about loom knitting. By no means am I any sort of expert in this. I actually learnt to do this because I developed carpal tunnel and I needed to rebuild the strength in my wrists after the surgery, and the gentle actions of this made it a lot easier to build the strength back up. So for me it was very, very good. Now I've got a couple of different types of looms. I've got the straight ones, which you can see in the shot here, and then I've also got the nice little round ones. Now the difference between these two different sets is that if you've got like a bigger gauge of wool, this one will be perfect. This is a 24 peg loom and makes a nice tiny little hat or anything round really. You can actually do straight on this depending on how that you actually wind the wool around it. I have done that when I've been in a bind and I couldn't find my other loom, so it's always worth noting. Then you've got this version, which is for a much smaller gauge, like a double knit or something. So if you look at the two together, there's a big difference between the space and between the pegs, and so therefore you can wrap more around and sort of like not get as big a gaps that you needed. Again with the straight ones, again you can see there is quite big gaps between these as compared to this one. So again, for the same reasoning. But what I thought I'd show you today is just me casting on and making a little something. So for me personally, I've got this lovely fluffy purple wool, and for whatever reason it's slightly knotting it up. Okay, so I'm just going to do a quick slip knot. Helps if you do it first time. Doesn't need to be a particular length, of just enough so it keeps it secured onto the loom. So because this is quite a thick gauge of wool, I'm going to use the loom with the bigger spacing in the pegs. Okay, so I'm going to tighten that up, and then all you do, this particular stitch is called the E-wrap, and you just wrap it. I think it's because you're doing it in an E sort of shape, and you just go all the way around the loom. Until you get back round to the beginning. And as this is the first row, you push all these down. Bit fiddly on the first bit, because you want a reasonable amount of tension. And then I'm going to wrap around. So as you can see on this one, there's now two little lots on here, and I'm going to repeat that all the way around till we get back to the beginning. Hold on a second. I'm not happy with how high those are. Okay, we've got back around to the beginning, so we've got 2 layers on all around. This is what we call a loom pick. What I'm going to do, so I'm going to hold on, keeping it quite taut, and then I'm going to lift the one at the bottom and pull it over to the one at the top. Now that's not going anywhere, so I don't really need to pay attention to the string while I move these all over. Basically you just go round and you just lift the first stitch over the second one. Again, this is another little nice, relaxing little hobby. I tend to watch films or TV shows while I do this. And the more you do it, the quicker you actually get at doing it. It's been a little while since I've last did any loom knitting. And then we do the final one. Which is over here. So we've done all the way round. As you can see, it's started to build the stitch inside. I'm going to push all those down to the bottom. Put down my pick. So this is where we are. So we're going to go to the next one and carry on going. We've gone to the end, so get the pick again, pick that first stitch and wrap it over to the second. I tend to do about 4 or 5 rows, and then I will then make the rim of the hat that I'm making, which is what I tend to use this loom for. I actually have a fair amount of cuddly toys with their own personalised hats, because that's what normal, sane people do. Last one. And when I'm doing the rim, so we're going to push these all down. Yeah, and when I do the rim, I also undo original slip knot on there and actually put it in the middle of the rim to actually hide any loose ends. So it keeps it all really, really neat and tidy. another one. I'll probably do a speed up or a time lapse of doing this so you can see the completed project. Otherwise there'll be like a 5-hour video. But I just wanted you to get the general feel of doing the actual wrapping and seeing, like, pulling over the threads, just so you got a general feel for the process. But yeah, I've done all sorts of things on my looms. I've done hats for every person I know, done a couple of scarves, including my infinity scarf, blanket. So there's different stitches, like you can still do like a rib stitch on one of these. Now back to pushing it down so we can do another wrap. Now, I don't know if you can see, but you can see that the stitches are just starting to appear. So it's really, really cool. Probably can't get a good enough angle on that. Okay. We will try one more row and see if we can get you to see it. I can see it, but I just don't think the camera angle is good enough to actually show it. So, go back to the wrapping. A few of you were interested when I said that I do loom knitting, and I thought I'd make a video and show you how I do it. This one. Okay. Don't know if you can see that, but it looks like you're just doing normal knitting, but it's just a nice easy way. It's gentle on the wrists. I find it really, really good. but I will give you updates as I get along. So I shall catch you guys all later. Okay, bye.